Welcome, low ego action heroes. This is Debbie Levitt from DeltaCX.com. We are a full service consultancy and agency. Hey, Whitney Allen, she's back. We do projects, training, and consulting. Check us out at DeltaCX.com. We are always looking for more to do. And over on CustomerCentricity.com, we've put up some fresh case studies. So check those out and bring us into your company. Hi, Manuel. Welcome to our usual Friday or every other Friday stream called Practicing Critical Thinking. This is where you, the audience, send stuff in via deltacx.com/links. There's a thing you can do there. Whoa, hi everybody, Credence, Ana Lucia. Oh, I forgot to move this back to the side from yesterday's stream. Now this looks ridiculous. Hold on. So thanks to everybody for joining. Let's move this out of the way. That's a little better. What do you think? Oops. So, hi, welcome to Practicing Critical Thinking. You send stuff in and we talk about it. We break it down into little pieces and we see, is this, everybody say it with me, meaningful, actionable, or helpful? Is this a good article, a bad article? You know, what do we think? So, happy Friday, Kylie. Hello, Rishi. Hello, Kayleen, who seems to have sent a cat emoji. So what we'll do is, first, as always, I like to thank people who are giving a little bit of money each month or a lot of money through the YouTube join button. This keeps me in streaming software and chocolate chips. Today I had some of those chocolate chips. Thank you. You're also keeping me in delicious, crunchy rice crackers. Yum, yum. Who loves those rice crackers with sesame and soy sauce? Ooh, crunch, crunch. Hey, Noisy Doll, good to see you. Hey, Kaushik, how are you? I finally got your book. It's awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much. Please, please leave a review on Amazon and or Goodreads. I need all the good reviews I can get, everybody. Please put them on Amazon. I got my book right before my vacation and it's great. Thank you. Oh my gosh. This is not the Show Deb Love Friday, but I will take it. Hi, Malika. So I'm so happy we're all here because this is an audience participation show. I'm going to be showing you some things that people sent in that I haven't, for the most part, I haven't looked at. I do not prepare for this show. I like to be just as surprised as you are. Kayleen says, I can't do rice crackers anymore. I went through a phase and I ate too many. Oh, I'm so sorry. So I'm going to share my screen. We're going to take a look at some stuff together and see what we think of it and do this all again in 2 weeks. So I think maybe in 2 weeks. No, 2 weeks I might have to cancel because it's the TechCrunch Business of Design conference and I'm speaking there. So we might not have a Practicing Critical Thinking in 2 weeks. I'll have to check the calendar. And you can check the calendar. You don't need me to tell you when shows are. We've got a Google Calendar over at deltacx.com/links. Check it out. Add it to your Google Calendar. You can do it. All right, let's open up my private browser and we'll switch over to the big screen. There we go. So, yep, so here we go. Here's me, the optional tip jar, the live chat room, which is pulling in chat from YouTube, LinkedIn, and Twitch, even though we just mostly seem to get some weird stuff on Twitch with a few exceptions. And of course, my screen with a private browser. Oh, thank you again, Kaushik. Very nice of you to drop by in all media and say that. So this says, how to elevate user research impact on both levels, tactical and strategic. Now, this sounds like an article we'd really want to dive into. I mean, the title makes it sound like it's really going to give us some great actionable information. I'm sorry I haven't read this ahead of time. We're going to have to skim through it and see what we think. But I would say that's a really nice sounding title that makes me feel like we're really going to learn on both the tactical and strategic levels how to improve research impact. Oh, and Danielle subscribed. Thank you. I tried to put some headphones on today so I can hear when a subscription happens, and my headphones weren't working. So thank you. Thank you. Let me put on this so I can at least hear it. And thank you, Kayleen, for being a great moderator. Okay, so this introduces the people writing it. Why is strategy different from tactics? The importance of strategic user research. Finding strategical. You don't need strategical. I think the word is strategic. So that's just a little editing thing. But let's see. Let's see if we can find the meat of some of this. Oh, there's even a table of contents on the side. Probably not accessible because it appeared out of nowhere, but okay. Let's see. They might be looking at indicators like number of released features, UG, duration of those releases, number of milestones achieved in a time. So sure, if these are the things your company is counting, it's going to be hard to say that research really impacted that, because I think those are not necessarily the right things to be counting, because you're not counting quality, you're just counting how many pizzas did we serve up, but were any of those pizzas good? So congratulations, you put a lot of pizzas out there, they might have been bad. Okay, strategic research includes user research, competitive intelligence, and market and trend analysis. I'm not sure I totally agree with that. I think we sometimes rely a little bit too much on competitive intelligence. I would like to know what other companies are doing so I can jump past them, not to copy them. Market and trend analysis, again, those are predictions that are as good as predictions can be. We've all lived through some things recently that people didn't predict. They just kind of landed on our heads. So, so much for that. Knowledge about humans. Okay, so this is just a Venn diagram with what they just said. We think we've said very much yet. Performing strategic research. You've learned about the value of strategic research and may think about how to implement it, whether you're eager to become the center of expertise or you'd better keep focusing on what you do best. Both could work. Is it just me, or is this starting to not make a lot of sense? Companies store knowledge from these areas with different teams, combining puzzle pieces. You share user research insights. Marketing team might perform competitor analysis. Nobody synthesizes this. Okay, that can be true. I'm not going to watch your video. When aiming to drive the strategic approach, try taking the role of facilitator who brings stakeholders together to combine knowledge. Having the complete picture, the goal is to find new strategic capacities for your product. Okay, so this sounds like feature-oriented design and not task-oriented design, in that it sounds like we're trying to take the product we have and find new things it could be, or new audiences it could serve, or I'm not too sure what. And then think about jobs to be done. And again, this is really glossing over stuff. I feel like we're speeding through this. What is jobs to be done? Why is the right tool to use? How do I know I'm using jobs to be done correctly? I think it's too high level an article to just say, hey, you've got strategic opportunities, bring stakeholders together, think about jobs to be done. Now you've realized your strategic opportunities. Now prioritize your strategic initiatives. I feel like this is way too high level. Like, does anybody in the audience now feel like, now that you've read this, you know what to do? Do you feel clear on what to do? Do you feel like you get the idea? Wearing this feels ridiculous. Kayleen, just please tell me if anyone subscribes. And hey, everybody, please don't forget to subscribe. We're still shadow banned. Tell friends about the Delta CX channel. Sounds like a lot of work. No, I can't even tell how much work that is. This is not clear at all. Don't do this all alone. Initiate collaboratively going through the process. Set up a strategic brainstorming session with your stakeholders. Encourage them to collaborate and organize. Conduct explorative, I'm not sure that's the right word, sessions together on a digital whiteboard. Cluster research data or create user journey maps. I'm sorry, but either I'm not getting this article, or it just sounds like their idea of research or dealing with research seems to just be Get everybody together, do lots of workshops, do lots of group brainstorming, don't do things alone, bring everybody together, create a user journey map. They don't tell you what that is or the right or wrong way to do it. That would be tactical. So, discovery, prioritization, definition. That's weird. You're going to prioritize stuff and then identify your strategic initiatives? I would think you would have to identify your strategic initiatives to be able to prioritize them. Development stage, delivery stage. I have to say, I am skimming this article. I am not going through this article in slow motion and giving it some of the attention it might require, but at the skimming level, I don't get this. Explore assumptions with your stakeholders. That should have happened a long time ago. Now, of course, as we do the quadrant exercise here, there's never a bad time to talk to stakeholders and teammates about guesses, assumptions, what we don't know, things like that. But if you're going to suggest to people the right method to do it, this seems a little late to take a look at looking at assumptions. So ultimately, I have to say I'm not feeling this article. I feel like it's out of order. I don't feel like I've been given enough information to be strategic or tactical. So I don't really get this. And I'm always concerned that poor articles reflect badly on the company that's putting them out. So this can reflect badly on Condense, because if you're a real researcher, you might look at this and go, what is this? This is a little word salady. Hi, Joe. How have you been? So yeah, I don't feel like this was meaningful, actionable, or helpful. I am not sure what to do here. I'm not. Is anybody else sure of what to do here? Is this just me? Noisy Doll says, I think this article is more like a review for people who already knew how to do these things, or someone justifying their own process. I don't even know, because if I already know how to do things, I don't need to read this. And then how did I elevate research impact? I don't see that. Where did the word impact appear in the article? Impact, 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 impact. Yeah, I don't get it. It just says you're going to boost the impact. You're going to boost the impact. I don't get it. So maybe I just haven't spent enough time on this article, but with skimming it, I'm not getting it. I feel like this is not an article I can recommend. I'm not sure afterwards what you would do strategically or tactically after reading this. I'm thinking maybe it's just an SEO article for Condense, because it kind of doesn't make sense as a human to read. All right, let's move on. This was a LinkedIn post about a week ago from whoever Michael W. is. And this says, don't become a UX UI designer before considering these. I've been a UX designer for over 14 years, and I've loved every moment of it. Oh, I doubt that. Oh, I don't even believe you. It has given me the opportunity to travel the world, meet extremely talented people, build products for millions of users, bootstrap a multi-million-dollar agency, and even do pull-ups topless in a Microsoft ad. What just happened here? This is not exactly the low ego moment I was looking for. What is this post about? Kayleen says, should we close CT submissions on Thursday to have extra time to read the things in depth? I usually don't read the things in depth. I think this one is just a little bit weird. I typically don't read the things in depth. And everybody who's joining me will not have read them in depth. So it's an idea. Yeah, what did I see? So evidently, this man is, evidently don't become a UX UI designer before considering how amazing Michael W. is. He needs you to know that he is goddamn fucking amazing. He's fucking done it all. And he's even done pull-ups topless in a Microsoft ad. I guess he's a model of some sort. And now the goal is not to discourage you in becoming a UX UI designer, but let's shed light on what the industry is actually like. Well, are you saying that the industry is not like what you just said? The industry is not an opportunity to travel the world, meet extremely talented people, build products for millions of users, bootstrap a multi-million-dollar agency, and I thought that that's the setup. I don't want to read more of this, and I don't know why somebody sent this in. Danielle says, bro. Yeah. Ana Lucia says, isn't this an ad in disguise with the regular LinkedIn? Oh, I'm such an expert. Yeah, this would be a humble brag, except I'm not seeing the humility here. I think this is just a brag. So what was this post about again? Evidently this post is about don't become a UX UI designer before considering things. So let's try to get to the meat of what Michael really supposedly wants us to know, other than his endless greatness. Don't forget to do, sensitive face when you write the honest reality with your railway font. PPP says, LinkedIn is so emotionally taxing these days. Yeah. Shweta says, no wonder social media is toxic. Face palm. Noisy Doll says, haven't we seen this post many times before? You have to stand out from other bootcamp grads. Work hard, care about business needs, manage stakeholders. Oh, thanks to Kylie for subscribing. Thank you, Kylie Garrett. Okay, so Michael says, it takes work to stand out. Boot camps are churning out UX designer faster than Japan's fastest mochi makers, which of course you have no frame of reference for because you haven't traveled the world and you don't even know what mochi is. You've got to break through the noise and hustle, 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 hustle. Do not sleep to make an impression on potential employers. How? I don't get it. And then does he tell you how to do that? How do you break through the noise? How does hustling make an impression on potential employers? Does it always make a positive impression? Does it ever make a negative impression? What is breaking through the noise? Are the people reading this the noise? Ana Lucia says, I sure love that point about hustle culture. Yeah. Business versus users. Remember that businesses care about growth, not just users. You'll need to balance both. Okay, sure. Embrace the uncomfortable. You'll have to learn new skills to stay relevant in the ever-changing industry. Upskilling is a must. But I'm not going to tell you what those skills are. You need to upskill, and you want to stand out from everybody else who pressed like on this, but I'm not going to tell you what skills those should be. Politics and bureaucracy. Half of your job will be managing stakeholders. Learn to communicate effectively and defend your work. Again, I'm not going to tell you what managing stakeholders means, how to do it well, and what it looks like when you haven't done it well. Just communicate effectively. That's it. Simple. Clap, clap, clap. Simple. Shweta says, I've watched videos by this guy. He's a good UI designer and he's built a business, but he's not a UX person. He launched a UX research course. Great, a UX research course by not a UX research person. Just what we needed. I assume that there's a sales pitch in here somewhere, because the whole thing reminds me of Ryan George's motivation video. If you get a chance, go to YouTube and I'm not signed in, so it's going to recommend all kinds of weird things to me. I'm in a private browser. Ryan George, what was it? Motivational speaker? Yeah. You all need to watch this video. The first guy to ever be a motivational speaker. It's only 5 minutes long and it's freaking hilarious. And this guy reminds me of the character in the suit who wants to be a motivational speaker. Oh, there it is. See my video in the comments. Yeah, anyway, I feel like I'm kind of done with this. You know, creativity isn't art. Hustle culture, put in more time and effort than others. Passion goes a long way. With 750,000 people doing Google's UX Coursera course, we need to give people more than this. So I think this is somebody who's really doing the clickbait thing, and they want to amass likes and followers from the UX newbies and wannabes, but they're not really giving you anything that is, say it with me, meaningful, actionable, and helpful. I feel like there's a lot here that's very high level and fluffy. Hustle, hustle, hustle. And many of us already know hustling affects your mental health, and not every employer is impressed by that. So let's move on. One of our low ego action heroes sent us a design challenge they got when they were interviewing for a job. And I want to read through this because this could be a whole separate show, but we should think critically about some of these design challenges or interview challenges or research challenges that we get when we're trying to get a job. So this is it's a design interview, and the task was enterprise product fit. So check this out. Background says the team have hit a significant impasse whereby the current growth strategy, creating a compelling solution for enterprise customers, is eluding them. So this says our internal team is unclear about how and where they might need to change our existing product to address the needs of larger enterprise customers. So for starters, this is unethical because they are asking you to fix a real problem that the company is having. The company wants to move in to attract larger customers and to have some enterprise offering, and they seem stuck. And evidently, you should fix this for them for free. The product manager wrote a problem statement. There's an opportunity for our company to increase its current market share by better serving the needs of larger enterprise customers. While our current offering is great for small and medium-sized businesses, we believe we could redesign and reposition our offering to increase adoption and usage by enterprise organizations. Newsflash, that's not a problem statement, or at least it's not a good one. What is the problem we're solving? Now, there's a business problem here of we want to grow our market share and we want to reach more enterprise customers. But I would like to see a problem statement from the enterprise customer's perspective. What can our company solve for them? What problem do we believe or know that enterprise customers are having that this company could solve? Yeah, Danielle says you don't even get a free sandwich if you magically come up with a way for them to attract enterprise customers, which, could make them millions of dollars. And you should do this for free. Noisy Doll says, I'll give them an answer that's just as useless and general as their question. Ana Lucia says, this does seem like a red flag. They seem to be trying to use applicants to solve their actual issues. Credence says constraints. They don't want an upfront research project. Yeah, so Credence is reading ahead. Let's take a look at what it says. Here's what your resources would be for this hypothetical project. Access to a small pool of existing enterprise customers and some basic usage data. Good. Maybe we can talk to these existing enterprise customers and learn something from them. Though those of you who watch this channel know that I'm going to say that we'll learn more from talking to enterprise customers who aren't our customers. They are our potential or target customers. We need to learn about what their needs are to see what we can possibly fulfill. Access to folks in sales who have frequent interactions with prospective customers. Okay, that's secondary research, but that I'll include that. Secondary data, including customer interviews, support tickets, and CRM notes. Who did those customer interviews? Probably the product manager, and probably the product manager saying, what do you need? So that might be crap, and it might be amazing. I don't know. You get a junior designer, a product manager, and 6 software engineers. Constraints. There's no time or appetite from the business from a big upfront research project. Let that sink in for a moment. So this company wants to appeal to enterprise customers who traditionally spend thousands, tens of thousands, millions of dollars on enterprise software, and we don't want to do a little research first to learn about users and customers to make sure that we're going in the right direction, that we understand them, and that we know what their unmet needs are, we're just going to rush into guessing. Yeah, Danielle says, so many red flags. Noisy Doll says, I think they're saying they don't want to hire a UX researcher. Ana Lucia says, oh, this is giving me a vibe. We don't care about research. We heard it was good to have one because they have nice ideas, but we don't want to change. The product manager wants to test initial ideas in 2 sprints time. That's it. You would get 4 weeks to design something based on secondary research. And it might even be low quality secondary research. This is a redesign versus a new product with a stable base of existing users. So it sounds like, don't invent a new product for us, just make some fixes to our existing product, which again is not going to be disruptive or innovative or jump past the competition. It's going to be incrementally improving. The product team want this to be lean and iterative, which is just basically speed over quality. We want this to be fast, and we don't necessarily care if it's good. So ultimately, I would reject this. I would refuse to do this challenge because 2 things. Number 1, it's unethical for me to fix your real company problem for free as an interview. I get paid to do that. Number 2, if your company likes to do things in 1 or 2 sprints with little or no research, I probably don't want to work there. I'm probably not going to be happy with your process and your ways of working, and you're clearly product-led, but not value-led. The value to the customer is secondary. If it even made second on your list, you don't care about the customer as much as you claim to. You just want to get something out fast, which is sad because we have some clues from this. We don't even know how to serve our own customers' needs. Our growth strategy is eluding our own staff. We don't know what to do, and we don't know how to fix our own problem. We should have a better market share of this audience, and we can't get it, but we don't want to build something fresh, and we don't want you to talk to people. I don't want to work there. The end. If I get this, I say I'm out of the running. I don't want to work in a company that does this. Or I would hand in a research proposal and I would say, this is what you should do. You should be researching this. Here's a 6-week research project, because not researching is how you got here. You literally have a deep business problem. You do not know how to create a good solution for your enterprise customers. You already have a product and it's failing. This is how you got here. So if you want to get out of here, you're going to need to do proper research. Build a feature in 1 sprint. Yeah. Sad fact is most companies are like that. Yes, most companies around the world are like this because they read a book that said it's really cool to try to go fast like a startup, but they forgot about quality. And that book about startups is 15 years old now, so do not care. So when you see a challenge like this, I know in this economy it's hard to say, ooh, I'm going to walk away from this. We need a job. We need money. Times are tough. Sometimes we have to say yes to not the greatest job. You would have to decide how to handle this. I wouldn't do it. I would tell people, number 1, I get paid to fix your problems. Number 2, your lack of appetite for research is how you got here. Danielle says no, but I don't know what Danielle is saying no to, because you're 40 seconds behind me. All right, let's go to the next one. Jared H. I don't think I know Jared H. Not to be confused with Jared S. So Jared H says, imagine a usability test. Let's imagine, hold on. Imagine a usability test where 16 out of 20 users happily found the function on the website. Would you opt for a redesign? All right, I already have questions. I'm going to let you ask some questions. What are your critical thinking questions when you see that there's a usability test where 16 out of 20 users found the function? I'll wait for you. I know you're 40 seconds behind. Nothing I can do about that. LinkedIn and YouTube have this delay. I wish it were shorter. Happily, says Kayleen. but I'm not too sure what she's responding to. Okay, happily. Users happily found the function. Yes, they were gleeful. They were gleeful. Their hearts exploded with love as they found the function. Yeah, Jamie R. Everybody's hitting it. Jamie R. says, what was the test really testing for? Exactly. Was the test find the function? Was the test, yeah, I don't even have something here that okay, here we go. Okay, here's Debbie's hat. Your goal is to find the key on Debbie's steampunk hat. Go. Ooh, I found the key. That doesn't seem like a good usability test. That seems too leading. Ana Lucia says, finding the function as a usability test. Joe says, were they able to complete an actual task? Karen says, this is not usability. This is a test of attentiveness. By the way, Karen, next Friday's show is about you. You might want to be there. Joe says, maybe the usability test was for an I Spy book. Okay, that's very British. I think a lot of people will not know what that is. Creedon says, do they need or want the function? Well, we don't want to ask them that. So yes, there's definitely something weird here. The happily is a little weird, but found the function. That is something I'm pretty much never testing for. It would be extremely rare for me to test, did they find the thing? If I want to test if they found the thing, I'm probably doing a tree test and not a usability test. Ana Lucia says, find Waldo. Yeah. Okay, so now let's go further into this post because it goes further off the rails because I have read this one before. So if 16 out of 20 users happily found the function on the website, would you opt for redesign? Probably not, because the site's working well for most users. Well, I'm sure many of you just heard what I said out loud and you're thinking, wait a minute, did we determine that the site was working well, or did we determine that they found the thing? Just because they found a thing and maybe we led them to the thing doesn't mean the site was working well for users. We don't have enough information here to know if there should be a redesign or not, because we've just got no context here. No context. What about if 4 out of 20 users could not find the function? Would you opt for a redesign now? Now, what he's saying is that this is positive and negative framing. And so framing is good to know about. We talked about it in episode 115 or 116. So we've brought up framing before on the channel, though not in a while. And he's trying to say, if you say 4 out of 20 users could not find the function, you're more likely to get people rallying behind the redesign because you told them about what went wrong. Whereas if you say, well, 16 out of 20 found it, then people will be like, well, then it's probably good enough. So I think that knowing about framing and framing biases are important. Ultimately, there's a good point that he's making here. But how he gets there, a little weird. And if he took it from Nielsen Norman, then I ultimately blame them for this weirdness. But there's got to be a lot more to a usability test than did people find the function. And depending upon what that usability test is, it may or may not be enough information for us to say this needs an entire redesign. All right, let's move on. We're only about halfway done and the show's half over. So there you go. So this was a Dovetail article. This is Dovetail's blog. I don't read Dovetail's blog because I find that it generally seems to come out against UX. I don't know why. And they keep having Janelle write stuff, and I've muted her on LinkedIn because I just don't find her to be pro-UX enough. I feel like she's pro-democratization and pro things that I'm not pro. So I have to admit that the author here of this article is someone whose content is normally the opposite of what I believe. So I didn't read this article. When I saw her name on it, I skipped it. But, you know, I'm just letting you know I have an automatic bias against Janelle because I so rarely agree with something she's posted. But maybe this is good. Hi, Ganesh. Happy Friday. So this says trending in UX, career jumping from UX researcher to product manager. Now we've talked about this on the channel and we will talk about it some more, that many UX people are jumping or considering jumping to product manager mostly to just continue doing UX work, because product managers have been land grabbing UX tasks and claiming that that's what a product manager does. So evidently, if we want to be able to do UX tasks, we have to be the product manager. So let's see what Janelle says. Do product managers hold all the power? At many companies, yes. Do UX researchers need to change career to see their insights actioned? They might need to change career just to be able to do research. So there you go. What do you love about your role? 3 times I've listened to UX research and product manager. They were tired of not having the power to do anything with their insights. These individuals started as researchers and said they're now at product because that's where the decision-making power lies. I agree. I think product managers have all the power right now. Engineering used to have all the power, and I'm seeing that shift, especially in the last year or so. Product managers have all the power, and engineering is not in a good spot. The complex relationship between UXRs and PMs. Okay, she's going to quote Nielsen Norman Group's article where people couldn't tell the difference between the roles. Organizational culture. Being a UX researcher doesn't automatically exclude you from decision-making power. Being a PM doesn't mean you get it. It depends on the organization. Okay, that's true, except in most organizations, PMs have the power. So yes, it depends, but in many cases, this is the case. Let's see. Now this is just random people. I don't even know what we're writing about here. Anyway, what are we talking about here? What's your role? What do you want to bring to the table? Some companies see the PM as the ultimate decision maker. PMs are building site superintendents. Other IC roles are the subcontractors. I agree, PMs have all the power and they treat everybody like they work for them. Joe says, I recently moved into a PM role so I could be an evangelist for our UX team's work. Exactly. That makes sense, because that's what's happening, and because PMs have power. And unfortunately, if you want to do UX work or promote UX work or support UX work, product managers is where that is. So what's... Oh, yeah, this was bullshit. The only reason product managers have power is because they're held accountable. I find Peter Merholtz to be kind of out of touch. Product managers are not held accountable. I've not seen that. I keep being told that they're being held accountable. I keep hearing, oh yes, I hold product managers accountable. Oh, I'm a product manager and I hold myself accountable. What does that mean? What does that look like? Nobody's given me an answer yet. I even had somebody on LinkedIn say, I'm a product manager. I hold myself and other product managers accountable. I wrote back, how do you do that? And they didn't write back. So I think this is something we keep saying, but it's not true. We keep saying product managers have power and they're accountable for that power. I've never seen a product manager held accountable. I'm the person in charge and I'm the person to blame and I'll take that on. No, I've never seen that. I've had product managers tell me, yeah, I'm going to get blamed. I'm going to be held responsible for the product. And then I've never seen it happen. I've seen products and projects fail spectacularly. I've seen hundreds of thousands of dollars wasted, and I haven't seen anything happen to that product manager. They weren't in any trouble, and they got a mountain of money the next time they asked for it. Noisy Doll says, does it mean they feel bad sometimes? Yeah, I don't know. Joe says, this paragraph is a massive generalization. Yeah, I'm still waiting for an example of the product manager that is held accountable. In fact, in many cases, when I see crappy product managers protected by other product managers and sometimes their manager, I've seen all kinds of things. Designers are wary of embracing that accountability. I've never been held accountable. I've been begging pushing for it for years. Because if you hold me accountable for the UX work, then when someone thinks the design is bad or something went wrong, I would love to sit down and talk about how I didn't get enough time, how you left me guessing because you didn't let me do any research or there was no research for me to work from. If we had accountability in UX, then we would say, this is why this is broken. This is broken because we didn't get what we need to do a better job. There's no accountability. Mayor Holtz is out of touch. He keeps posting things. Didn't he post something a couple of months ago that he had to take down because he was so out of touch? Yeah, Malika says, if anyone were held accountable, design thinking wouldn't exist. So true. And if anyone were held accountable, product managers wouldn't be able to slide their way into doing UX work because we would say, oh, the product manager is going to do UX work. Let's hold them accountable. If their research is crappy, we're going to hold them accountable. We're going to take their budget away. We're going to put them on a performance improvement plan and we're going to demote them. Oh, the product manager did shitty design that ended up losing us some customers. We're going to fire them. Like, where's that? If there were any accountability, none of these things would be happening. We've got no accountability. So, crap, never mind, done. Are shareholders the real users? I don't know who this guy is. Waves of layoff in the tech sector are revealing the ultimate end user, and it might be you. This makes no sense. Ultimately, your users are your users. Shareholders are shareholders. If your article is trying to say, we're designing for shareholders, that doesn't make sense either. It probably says we're designing bullshit so that shareholders can make money. Yes, but that still doesn't make them the real user. The users and the customers are still the real users. Maybe shareholders are pulling strings and making decisions, but they're still not the real users. They're not the ultimate end user. This is a giant no. This is a giant clickbait. Fear-mongering trigger alert, yes. Milky Drop says, I work somewhere that is definitely product manager-led. That team also has the highest turnover in our whole company. They've never been fired. They decide to leave on their own, maybe burn out. No, probably to avoid accountability and make more money somewhere else. You're not the user, but then who truly is? It's so weird that we keep seeing these Medium articles claiming because there's a down economy, the user isn't the user. And because of a down economy, UX is product design. Like, does anybody here understand the economy? Can you all stop writing about the bad economy if you don't understand the economy? Ana Lucia says, is that person using shareholders instead of stakeholders? Yes, they evidently mean shareholders. Joe says, a good PM shouldn't have time to do UX work. Super agree. Thank you, Joe. I sacrificed what I loved to do in UX so I could ensure others in my org had the space and empowerment to do their best UX research and design. Thank you, Joe. I mean, we are endlessly in debt to Joe. That's the way it's going to be. UX people are going to move into product to protect UX jobs and to see that UX is done well. That's what's going to happen. When you all see open product manager jobs, start applying to them. You don't need a certification. You just don't. They didn't need a certification to start doing UX work. Go for it. We're designing for the wrong people. The shareholder is the ultimate end user. So you want me to design for shareholders? Are you sure? Make a shareholder journey map. This is so bad I'm having like a negative physical reaction to it. Is this April Fool's? It's April 3rd. It's got to be April Fool's. This sounds ridiculous. Shareholder journey map, shareholder-centric experiences, shareholder design. This has to be April Fool's. This can't be real. I'm leaving this one. The complete guide to user interviews. This looks long. I don't think we're going to have time for this, but let's see. What do we want to learn from our users? Hypotheses. Okay, I already disagree. No. What you want to learn about your users shouldn't come with hypotheses. People, I didn't make the graphic yet. Hypothesis is step 3 of the scientific method. Step 1 is research and observe. Step 2 is define the problem or create a question. Step 3 is come up with a hypothesis that answers the question. It doesn't make sense to say what you want to learn from your user is a hypothesis. You will already bias your research before you've even written your own plan. You will write a plan in the box of what your hypothesis is and probably trying to prove that hypothesis right. If you can't get step 1 right, I'm probably not interested in the rest of your article. I don't want to see what else you have to say about the ultimate guide to research because your step 1 is incorrect. Ana Lucia says a shareholder may not even use the product. They just have shares in the company. They invested money. That's it. And Kayleen says, is this not calling out the bad of shareholder-centered design? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think this guy is for shareholder-centered design. Anyway, I don't want to read any more of this article, even though it looks 12 miles long, because defining what you want to learn from your users shouldn't be your hypothesis. Johnny says, it would be great if they can make this as an oral defense with Debbie. Thank you. Yeah, I feel done with this. Choose the type of user interviews. Write a research plan. Recruit, conduct, analyze, share insights. Yeah, and that's not enough. We have to go beyond sharing insights and we have to be strategic and advisors. We can't just say, hey, I learned some things. Good luck. You make it into something. Then we just seem like a pair of research hands. So, no, I don't want to read this article. Let's move on. This, someone sent me Imagica.ai, and hold on, they sent me something to go with it. Oh no, this was our shareholders, the real users. Okay, never mind. A new way to think and create with computers, get early access. Okay, so I'm not going to be able to use this, but I did notice that when I scrolled, I almost threw up. The motion sickness level of this site was off the charts. I apologize to anybody who suffers from any condition, diagnosis, or disability where sites with animations and things like this make you ill, because I didn't think I suffered from that, and this site made me ill. So it says, see a demo. So let's take a look at the demo. What industry do you want to transform? Finance. What do you want your app to do? Hold on, this is going too fast. An investing app that provides insights on stocks with an interface for trading. Creating an app for you. I want recession-proof stocks. Show stock interface. This is definitely not made with a lot of UX in mind, because this is going way too fast for me to understand what I'm looking at. So it looks like some sort of AI ML is going to tell you what stocks might be recession proof because they did well in previous recessions, which you could also Google. You could go to Google and say what stocks did well in the previous recession. And then as for the design of the stock page, it looked extremely generic. It looked like this was trained on Dribbble. It looked like everything I've ever seen on Dribbble. Congratulations, you'll have an app that looks like everybody else's. Ana Lucia says, wait, I can't read that fast. Yeah, me either. Evidently, this was a video that was running because I have a bar along the bottom of my screen, and maybe there was sound. But yeah, so to me, this is just another machine learning thing, and to me, it's another solution in search of a problem, because you're just gonna, if you remember, if you try to have your product or app designed by machine learning, it's just going to spit back what's already been done or combinations of what's already been done. So let's not pretend you're innovative or disruptive. It's just gonna, that example looked like what's already been done. Can I get back to that? Yeah, here it is. So there you go. That looks like every other trading app. Oh God, I'm sorry, I scrolled with my mouse and now it's all over the place. This is terrible website design. Oh my gosh, I can't get it to stop on the video. Oh, good God. Yeah, we're done here. We're done here. I don't care anymore. That's an extremely generic design, and I'm not too sure why anybody should be excited by that. It's extremely generic. If you want a generic design, you can get an inexpensive, low-skill person to have made that. I don't think that extremely generic design took skill. All right. Sorry again to make everyone nauseous. I'm nauseous too. But there you go. Critical thinking. Unfortunately, another pile of garbage. I really hope people will start sending me good and exciting things. That would be a much more varied Friday stream than we tend to have now. Remember, you can send stuff in at deltacx.com/links. I'm going to check my calendar now for what's coming up. But remember, we have a calendar on that page, and you can know what's coming up without me telling you. Monday's going to be Think Out Loud, but I haven't decided what we're going to do yet. So feel free to send in a suggestion to deltacx.com/links. Tuesday is Office Hours Ask Me Anything. We're supposed to have a guest, Greg Marinelli. I'll have to check that he's still free. Wednesday, I'm going to read my new article that AI users are neither AI nor users. Karen has a question, of course. Go for it. And Karen is the subject of next Friday's show. Next Thursday's show is special guest Darren Hood, so you'll want to come for that. He's going to talk about how to evaluate UX education, which people ask us about all the time. And then on Friday, we're going to walk through Karen's portfolio because it was so good it made me want to hire him. And I want to show you what I saw in that portfolio. Karen says, do you already have an assumption about the market you wish to enter? I'm not sure I understand. Often entrepreneurs either choose a market and then look for problems to solve, or they already know about a problem and want to figure out how to solve it in a way that will generate revenue. Right. I guess it's, if I'm understanding you correctly, it sounds like the thing we just saw is just random brainstorm, throw darts at a dartboard. Hey, do you want a financial app? Do you want a financial app that tells people stocks that did well in the last recession? Ooh, here you go. I'm not even sure why that should be an app. That really just seems like a web search. I'm not sure how that then becomes an app, unless it's going to be now buy some stocks. But we already have stock trading apps that exists. We already have stock trading apps that let us do research on stocks and stocks that do well under certain circumstances and levels of risks of stocks. So I'm not sure what any of that just was, but I agree with Karen. It seems like this is some sort of machine learning, fake AI for, I just want to come up with a startup idea. I don't even have a user problem or anything. I just wish I had an app. Just design me an app for trading. Okay, then you'll get the most generic looking app possible because it's built by something that goes by what it was trained on. Whereas if you hire a good designer and you've done the research, the designer can design something more innovative, more disruptive based on what we learned from the research. So yeah, this seems like we're probably going to see a weird wave of new startups that are solutions looking for problems, because someone put a prompt into ML or AI, and now we have all of these fake solutions for problems like, yeah, download our app that will tell you recession-proof stocks because of what did well in 2008. What? It's a whole new world from 2008, y'all. You know, we should stop looking at 2008 stocks. We probably shouldn't look at 2008 books about startups. Why are we still looking at 2008? So, yeah, there you go. What else? Noisy Doll says, is it because people just think ideas are the most valuable part of a product? The initial concept is just so precious that anyone could build it and it'll be great. So really this AI build me an app product is just serving egos of would-be founders. I do think there's a lot of truth to what you say. I think I would agree with you, because I think a lot of people think that the value is the idea. And I agree with the book I read many years ago that says anybody can have an idea. It's the execution of the idea that matters. Yeah, anybody can have an idea. Ooh, let's have an app that talks about recession-proof stocks from 2008. Okay, congratulations. Someone can make that. A bot can make that. But does anybody want that? And who would download that app? Should it be a web search? Karen says, people think they have the idea, but they just have an idea. Yeah, and they might not even execute well on the idea. Just because you have an idea doesn't mean it comes out well, doesn't mean anybody wants what this is, doesn't mean anybody wants it in the form you've created it. So, yeah. There's a lot more to things than just the idea. It's not like if you build an app that takes a look at stocks that weathered the 2008 recession well, anybody wants that app. I don't need that app. I can go to Google and ask it what are some good stocks that weathered the 2008 recession well, and then I can research their 3-year chart history to see how they did in the pandemic, because that's a little bit fresher, and how they're doing in the last year. So, yeah. I think we're going to see a lot of solutions in search of problems as people feed all kinds of stuff into AI and say, oh, women Debbie's age need more help with skincare and nutrition. Ooh, let's start a business for 50-year-old women's skincare. I don't need that. I already have a skincare brand I like. I think it's pretty good. Though really, it's my lighting. Those of you who've met me in real life know I look a little older than I do on YouTube because I have great lighting here. Claire, hey, good to see you, Claire, says, in my humble opinion, most apps are, if you build it, they will come. Well, they think that, but not everybody comes and not everybody stays. You can get people to download an app and try it, but then how many people uninstall it? I've uninstalled, 3 apps in the last couple of weeks, and some of them on the same, within an hour of when I installed them. So then, vanity metrics. Oh, hi, Anna. Debbie Levitt. I love everything you're saying. Thank you, Anna. As I was in class, I constantly wondered why anyone would be willing to download something to their phone. Yeah, exactly. It's a real leap of faith, especially knowing now that there are apps out there that scrape data off your phone. They grab your contacts. They grab pictures off your phone. They grab some of your personal information. I think people are, or at least should be, more wary than we used to be about phone app permissions. I'm very nervous about phone app permissions now. So I read them carefully. And as soon as I download the app, I go straight to the permission screen in Android, and I make sure they don't have access to my camera and my microphone and things like that. And Anna says, yeah, I've uninstalled so many. I was forced to download for work and had to get rid of it. Yeah, I mean, I'm at the point where I've got my previous phone. It's, the battery's died. But if someone really said, hey, download this thing, I'd probably charge up my old phone and download it, erase that, download it to that. And that way, even if it did do something malicious, it's minimally harmful and not my phone, and I can just factory reset it. Uh-oh, Noisy Doll says, oh my God. Oh my God, what? Where? What? Remember, you're 40 seconds behind me. I have no idea what you're oh my godding about or saying no to. I need help. Noisy Doll says, my boyfriend's dad is creepy on a regular basis and said to us, oh, the new Apple Watch can tell when you're ovulating. I don't know if that's true. I'm not an expert on these things, so I don't know. Anna says, that's such a good idea, LOL. Oh, you probably mean using the old spare phone. Yeah, I've got a couple of old spare phones here, some older than others. But yeah, if somebody wants me to download a thing, I've got my last phone was a Samsung Galaxy Note 9. And I've also got a Samsung J5, which is like really old. Because now I'm on the S21 Ultra Android. Yeah, that's my suggestion. But yeah, I really don't want to download apps for a lot of things. I'm happy using mobile web, especially on a larger phone like this. It's a good size phone. I could use a website pretty capably. It doesn't have to be an app. Yeah. All right. We're technically out of time. Thanks to all the people who showed up. So great to see all the usual characters and a couple of new names. Remember, I hope to be back on Monday. If someone wants to send in something for practicing, I'm sorry, this is practicing critical thinking, something for Think Out Loud. Last week we did the Lush website for Think Out Loud. If you can think of a website you want us to kind of audit and assess and evaluate, I can do that. I feel the same way. I am often annoyed if I have to download something. Oh, pointing the wrong way. There you go. Thank you for your time and energy. Sure, I do this 2 to 4 or 5 times a week. So I love being here. I love communicating with all of you. I'm always sorry it's 40 seconds delayed, but it's the best that we can do. And my internet actually held up today. Thank you. We actually had to get a technician out. But how long will this last? I don't know. So everybody have a super freaking weekend. Don't forget to subscribe and tell people about the channel. And don't forget to check out deltacx.com/links. There's lots of cool things on there that y'all always ask me about, like coaching and other stuff. Just go to that page and it'll answer lots of your questions about the Delta CX world. Oh, and also, by the way, I added some new designs to the Delta CX shop. So check out deltacx.shop. I've added my famous saying, FAQs are content without strategy. We've also got something on there about being value-led. We've got, let's see, I put one sticker on my new computer. Which one? Oh no, I didn't put the sticker on my new computer. I'm waiting for my stickers so I can add them to my new computer. But I'm going to buy some of my own stickers and put them on there. We also have, I'm also waiting for some of Stephanie Walter's stickers. We'll add those on there. And of course, Pierre Mario was nice enough to give me his Arian sticker. I'll put that on my computer. So, yeah, check out the deltacx.shop. We've got shirts. Some of you have asked for Delta CX shirts and hoodies. They're there. You can have them. They are available to you. It's a Redbubble shop, so check it out. Thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend, and I hope to see you again on Monday. Bye. Customer centricity as business intelligence. Visit deltacx.com to learn why we are